Hello and welcome back to Matt Hayes' Tottenham blog and to this week's Champions League match review. Tottenham finished their group stage in the Champions League this season with a 3-1 defeat away to Bayern Munich last night. I'm not going to be going too much in depth with regards to the performance that we saw for a number of reasons that I'll explain in a second. But the main thing I'm going to talk about is the team lineup and the players that we saw on the pitch. And while I think it was an opportunity lost to not play the young players, I do think Mourinho's team selection can be justified despite the frustrations fans are having with it. Now, personally, I didn't get to watch the game last night. I was working, so I was hoping. I of course recorded the game, and I wanted to have a look back at it and look at the young players that played as we were expecting, and kind of see how they performed. But ultimately, there was no point in that. There was only Foyth, Skip, and Sessegnon, I suppose, were the main young players in that side. That haven't had as much game time in the past as you might expect from them. But there's just no reason to look back at the performance because, judging from the comments I've seen in social media, it was a really, really bad performance. And look, I said it in the preview, the performance wasn't the most important thing last night. The result wasn't the most important thing. It was giving young players a chance, like Troy Parrott, Oliver Skip, Jeffa Tanganga, three players who we really thought would be starting that game. It was a great opportunity to give them a chance to get some first team football and to show Jose Mourinho what they're about. But ultimately, Tanganga and Parrott didn't get on the pitch at all, and Skip only had about 25 minutes in that one. Now, I, along with everybody else, was very, very surprised when that lineup came out. Just quickly running through it, it was Paulo Gazzaniga in goal. Kyle Walker-Peters played in right back with Juan Foyth and Toby Alderweireld in centre back. Danny Rose was back on the left. It was Sissoko and Dyer playing in the holding midfield roles, with Lo Celso, Eriksen and Sessegnon playing behind Lucas Moura. Now, straight away, it was really frustrating to see Christian Eriksen back on that team. And again, judging by the comments I've seen on Facebook and Twitter, he was absolutely dreadful. And, the last 3 or 4 times he's played for Tottenham, I've been really frustrated. And I said he does not deserve to be in that team at all. He had a decent performance. One of his sub-appearances a few weeks back, it might have been the West Ham or the Bournemouth game, I can't quite remember. But he should never wear the jersey again, and the sooner he leaves, the better. If it means let him go for free in January at this stage, just let him go for free, because he is not a good influence on the dressing room. He's doing absolutely nothing when he gets out on the pitch. He is an amazing, amazing footballer, but he just doesn't care about Tottenham, and there's no point in putting him on the pitch because he's just a liability to us at this stage. Now, as for why I think this lineup can be justified, I would have preferred, as I said, to see Parrott, all these young players that it almost seemed as though Mourinho confirmed they would be starting. Everyone was fully convinced we'd see at least Troy Parrott in the starting 11. But Mourinho has made it very clear since day one that he does not have a lot of time to work with these players and to find out what they're about, because he's come in at a stage now where it's a really, really hectic calendar. There's games every weekend, every week, and that's going to be going on until January. So this really important period coming up. We've games against Wolves, Chelsea, Brighton. I think we're playing Southampton in there as well. It's a really, really hectic run of fixtures, and the majority of training is going to be preparing 1 or 2 days for the match in advance. Mourinho's not going to get a lot of time to see the qualities and the things that certain players can do for him in his system, unless he gets them out on the pitch. And when you're looking at players like Parrott and Tanganga, obviously we'd love to see them in the first team, and we'd love for them to have been given the chance last night. But ultimately, it's players like Victor Wanyama and perhaps Danny Rose, who hasn't been in the squad a lot since Mourinho came in, Juan Foyth, Kyle Walker-Peters, who do have a bit more experience in first team football. They're the players who are going to be in contention to play Premier League, Champions League matches in the long run. And I think it made sense for them to play last night, because Mourinho needs to see what they can do. He's not going to get to see it on the training ground because every day is just preparing for the next game. He needs to get take his chance to see them, and unfortunately, that one of the few chances he's going to get was last night. And it's really disappointing that the young players they did lose out on it, but they're just not the players that will be in contention for starting positions regularly going into the new year. And look, maybe that might change. We have, of course, the FA Cup coming up. There might be a few changes. They'll get chances to play in there. Like a few of them did in the Carabao Cup, but unfortunately it didn't work out for them last night that they would get in the pitch. I think it was a bit strange that Mourinho did call up Parrott from the youth side, and the youth side actually lost 3-0 to Bayern Munich in their game. and Parrott's their top scorer in that competition. So you think if Mourinho wasn't, sure that he was going to use Parrott, he should have let him go down to the youth league, because the subs that Mourinho made were really really confusing. With Lucas Moura playing up front, and he was taken off after 65 minutes. He was replaced by Son, which was a bit of a needless risk to take, especially with the game coming up against Wolves on Sunday, and when Troy Parrott was sitting on the bench and he was ready to go. If he got 20 minutes, half an hour, it would have been great for him. Skip did come on for Giovanni Lo Celso, which is good to see a young player getting a bit of a chance. He sat back, which allowed Sissoko to push on into the position that he's been doing really well in the last few weeks. But the sub Mourinho made with 10 minutes left, when he took off Eric Dyer and he brought on Victor Wanyama, was just absolutely baffling, to be honest, because look, again, Wanyama is probably a player who's going to be more in contention, but the game was gone at that stage. It was 3-1. Wanyama coming off the bench, he's not going to have any chance to prove, to show what he can do. Troy Parrott would have a lot more of a chance to impact the game, maybe not impact the game, but impact Mourinho's opinion of him, to get time in the pitch, maybe do something in that 10 minutes. So I really don't understand that substitution by Mourinho, but I do think overall the team selection, I don't agree with it, but I do think it can be justified. But look, it was a disappointing performance from the majority of the players. It was great to see Sessegnon get his first goal for the club in his first start, and that now is the three players that we signed in the summer that have stayed at the club this season. They've all scored in their first start, and Dembélé against Villa, Lo Celso against Red Star, and now Sessegnon against Bayern Munich. So it's a really good start for those signings, but the performance last night all around was worrying. Christian Eriksen has to go. Danny Rose just not good enough at the moment. Kyle Walker-Peters, disappointing, but again, he's a young player who's not getting much game time. But look, there's plenty of time to improve under Jose Mourinho, and as he said, no one's going to want to play us in the round of 16, and the big teams will be fearing us. So hopefully he does turn out to be right. He seems really confident that he will have time to fix all this stuff before we do get to the last 16 of the Champions League, which I think is starting towards the end of February. So hopefully that can all get sorted out. Now, don't forget to leave down in the comments below your opinions on that game last night, mainly the lineup and the absence of some of those youth players in our starting 11. If you have enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below if you haven't already. Thanks for watching.